spent the big cash, got the good audio tags.
Oh man, yeah.
$5. Had to spend $5 to get that. Oh boy. All right. Welcome to Snowman Sideshow, recorded at Green River Studios, located somewhere at the base of the beautiful Blue Mountains in eastern Oregon. I'm your host, Les, the Snowman Canadian. Tonight, long-time listener, second time on the show, Vitto Crevoloni. You cannot say your last name without...
Right? Absolutely. It seems
we talked about that last time, but...
It seems like that with everybody.
Yeah, I just can't help it. It rolls. Crevoloni. So what's new, man? What have you been up to?
Just another day, another grind.
Yeah, just doing the grind.
Yep.
Right on. Well, you've probably watched a couple episodes, I think you said, so we kind of mixed it up where I used to just like do an intense interview for an hour, but now we just BS. Is that all right?
Sounds good to me.
Right on. So it was St. Patrick's Day. Did you do anything?
No.
Hung
out with the wife and the kids, watched some movies.
That's the best thing to do.
Camped out in the living room.
Yeah. We ran out to Pilot Rock. There was my buddy Joe. He plays in a band, and they've been playing together for a while, but they haven't gigged or anything. So he was like, "We're gonna do that little bar out there called the Vault," which I went to school there, high school there, and so I hadn't been in that. When I was young, I used to go down there and spend quarters and play in that building, and so it was weird to go in there and see it now as a bar.
Right.
And it was cool. That's whoever did that did a great job. I mean, it is a nice looking little place.
Where's this? Out in Pilot Rock?
Yeah, right on the corner of Main there, as you're going
Okay.
through town. So when I was a kid, he did like JoJo's and chicken strips, and there was a guy, this old guy that had that place for a long time, and he was kind of ornery, not the nicest guy, but I got to know him, and we kind of built this relationship because I lived at the other end of Main Street. Because he lived upstairs, him and his family lived upstairs of that commercial building, and then he had his little kind of, and part of it was the sandwiches and the JoJo's and all that, and then the other side was all video games, a pool table, foosball, all the good stuff, and so, yeah, it was just a lot of memories there. He kicked me out once when I was a kid there, too, because, like we're 13 years old or 12, whatever, we're all learning to chew. We were chewing.
Oh, and was it the big league gum that started you?
I don't know. I just remember thinking I wanted to be cool like the older guys and have that tobacco, so we started chewing whatever, and we would just spit like on the floor. Yeah, you have
to go.
Yes. And I hear that, I say that out loud and I go, what? But I remember like just being ornery kids and we're like, couldn't find a garbage can. And I did that once and took me up by the collar, threw me out. So I waited for, I think.
Was there a ban period?
There was 3 months, and then I went down and I asked if I could come back, and he said yes. But the funny thing is after that we became really close, and I would go down there sometimes on the weekends real early in the morning, or even when I got older, I would go down, and before he would open up, I knew he was in there. He would make me coffee and breakfast and stuff, and it was fun just hanging out with them. And but anyways, watch this band there. The band's called 541 Vintage. My buddy Joe Burns, who's always on the show, it's his band. And they were good. They did a great job. I mean, I was shocked that it was the first time they had played.
Are they going to just start doing it regularly?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I told them when they went on break, I'm like, God, you guys, you're dialed in. You're ready, man. Start gigging.
Heck yeah, I'd like to go see them.
It was good. It was really good. And the place was cool. Had a great time. And I made this before I went because I'm colorblind, so I didn't even know if the shirt I had on was green. My wife said, yeah, but so I thought, I wish I had, so you know how everybody does the DNA?
Yep.
I just looked mine up real quick on my account, and I was like, Irish, 4%. And then I wore that, out there just showing off with it. But anyways, it was a good time. We were out there for a couple hours. Probably had too much beer, but that happens too.
Oh, always.
I think I need to give it up. It's just not healthy,
I stopped drinking last May.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you feel better. Sorry about the.
No.
We're the time change now. We've got some light creeping in on you.
Oh, good.
So if it gets in your eyes, sorry, but yeah, that's right. It's been a while for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do the same thing.
Breaks
Breaks
are good.
Yeah. Well, we have Gordon, I don't even know his last name, but Gordon around town that collects cans. One day we just said, hey, we met him down there, and we said, would you come by and just get our cans, because we don't take them back.
Right.
I'm just too lazy to. I don't want to.
Terrible.
And so I was throwing them away.
Yeah.
Well, now I save them, and Gordon comes on Thursdays.
Okay.
And picks up the cans and takes them with him. So I appreciate it and gives him something to do. That's his job. That's his hustle. So
maybe I'll have to swing a couple bags over here.
Yeah,
on Thursdays.
On Thursdays, you'll see him. He pulls up in that blue car, and he gets out, and it's literally his job. Like he takes it serious. He wears his gloves, and I got to tell you this. One time I set them out there for him, but I set him down kind of by the sidewalk, so he wouldn't have to come all the way up. And it was a weekend, and then I went somewhere, and I came back. I went down the store real quick, came back. I'd already put the bottles and cans out there, and I didn't notice they were gone. And then Gordon shows up, and he goes, hey, where's the cans? And I said, well,
somebody snaked them.
So, we all have Ring now, right? Ring doorbells.
Everybody along here's got one, except for us. I feel like we need to jump on the bandwagon.
I tell you what, it gives you a sense of, a little more control, you think. You feel like...
I borrowed a trap from Wayne up the street, and I walk up to the door waving, like, showing the trap.
Yeah.
Bringing it back.
That's the thing. I think it's kind of its own security. And at the same time, I went on my Ring, and I saw the guy do it. And he came up and knocked. I could tell he drove by. He saw the cans right there on the sidewalk. Right. He stopped. He got out, and he came up. But the weird part was that he knocked just on the window. He didn't go over to the door, and the dogs were barking, and I don't know. But whatever. He took the cans, but Gordon's still pissed about it. So if I was that guy, I would watch it, because Gordon will say, "So we got to make sure we'll put him up here by the outside of the house so nobody else takes them."
Right. Making sure.
Yep. I will do it, Gordon. I will do it. So, anyways, what else we got going on? I like to cover a little bit of, we'll touch on some strange news this day in history, just odd, stupid stuff like that. And then, what else here's something else I was going to talk about. I'm kind of embarrassed about this, but I think you'll appreciate it, because I've actually heard you do something similar over the phone to someone. So my father-in-law, we took him to the dentist. Right. And he can't drive. He can't, well, I guess he probably could, but he shouldn't. And he has a walker, and he doesn't ambulate very well. And so my wife goes out there probably 3-4 times a week and does, takes care of him, cooking, cleaning, and all that stuff.
Right.
And so he had this appointment. My wife went out and got him. So she took time off work, went out and got him, brought him to the dentist. And then I went down there and took time off work.
Right.
We walk him in, and he goes to the bathroom, and he getting ready, and they take him right back to his little room, and he's sitting there. He gets in his room, and I'm out in the lobby. It's just, I know right where he's at. I know they're started already, and the phone's ringing, and you can tell they're stressed around there. Like and I hear her say we're overbooked and are double booked, and then she said on this phone call, she's like, I'm sorry, he can't, whatever, he can't work on somebody had an emergency, bad tooth. So. But then a couple minutes later, I'm watching her, and she goes back and talks to him. She comes back, and the dentist said, doctor said, you can come in right now, if you come in right now. And the next thing you know, I see my father-in-law scuffling with his.
They bounced him.
They bounced him. He's 80 years old.
80 years old, and they bounced him.
And he lives 18 miles from here. Like, we have to, we took vacation time to go get him, or time, to go out and get him and bring him in. So anyways, we walked out. I didn't say a word. They'd already rescheduled him in there before he even walked out. And I was like, okay. And all he was getting was a filling.
Right.
But that's not the point. And so
you made the appointment.
Yes.
You did all the legwork. You got him there.
Yeah. And I was kind of like offended, because the one gal was like, well, it was just because they were stressed. Okay. Right. They were over, and I knew that. And I was trying to be cognizant of that, because we've all been on the other end of that.
Right.
But anyways, I take him home, drop him off. He's winded, he's tired, and then he shows me the appointment sheet they gave him, and it was for 2 months from now.
Right.
And I'm like, so I stewed about it all the way back from Athena. And when I came down the hill, and I said, I gotta stop by there. I can't let this go. I'm gonna have to go in there. So anyways, I went in and had a good talk with the dentist, and threw a fit, and he just listened, and because I was upset. I was like, he's 80 years old, you bumped him, And we could have went and got it. And see, when I went back in to talk to them, they were all sitting around. Nothing was going on. No customers. And I'm like, I could have gotten lunch and we could have came back.
Right.
You know? Anyways,
I'm
so
dealing with that.
I went off and then I asked him to apologize to my father-in-law, so he did.
Oh, nice.
But they're good people down there. I love them, and I'm not going to say who, but you know, they are my. I've been there most of my life, so or with this practice, so they're off the hook. I just felt bad.
Yeah, I actually called. God, it was like 2.5 weeks ago because I have a bad back molar that was hurting me really bad. So they said they would give me some antibiotics, and they made my appointment for June 7th. Is for me to get in.
Right.
And this is before, you know, it was a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, how can you be booked out so far?
I think it's that way with everything, though, even like mechanics and stuff like that. Our daughter's car, she left here the other night and took my car because she couldn't get it to start. She went out there, she could get in it, but it wouldn't start. And then first thing I thought of, thinking of like a motorcycle I had once, it had a fob and stuff like that. I'm like, I wonder if it's the battery.
Well, that does make sense because our car was in the dealership for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Wendy was checking around because we were just going to take it to the shop because I told her, I don't know what it is.
Right.
If it ain't the battery and the fob, I have no idea.
Absolutely.
So she went and checked in and everybody's weeks out.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy because we just tried. So after my car just got out of the thing for 5 weeks at the dealership, we were down in Portland to visit my dad. He had fell down and broke his hip. Oh. Yeah, he's good. He's good now. But he's almost 80. He'll be 79 at the end of this month.
Right. So that's a big deal, though.
Right. So we were down there, and we were getting ready to leave to come back, and I get in the car, and for some reason I needed to jump out of the car and grab something from my mom's house, and pulled the handle, and it just flopped back and forth and just broke. And I was like, all right, I won't stress about it now.
Right.
Wait till we get home. Maybe I'll watch a YouTube video. I'm pretty handy. I've done things.
You were always tinkering on cars.
I've done, little things, switches, this and that, and it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll be able to. Maybe a rod popped off or something.
Yeah.
And I watched the video, and they're melting plastic on the back to take stuff off, and I'm like, nope, that's over my head. We're just gonna go ahead and make an appointment at the dealership. But they are like 3 or 4 weeks out for a loaner car. So we'll have to make an appointment. Until then, I got to roll down the window, stick my hand out, unlock it, or either get the VIP service. The wife comes around and lets me out.
And if she's mad at you,
people give strange looks when they see that. Yeah. Like I just walk out of the car after my wife's opened the door for me,
And then when you get out, you should just walk off strutting.
Get slapped in the back of the head by the wife.
Under your breath, you can be like, "Love you, honey. You're the greatest." But walk off like you're just
right. But Bentley, God bless him. I'll get it for you, Dad.
Yeah.
All right.
How is Bentley doing? How are your kids?
They're doing good.
I haven't seen
Bentley
much of you
just
guys.
got fitted for a new brace for his foot for the cerebral palsy on his right side.
Right, so he can rip around here a little bit faster.
Yeah, the way they explained it is like his muscles are so tight, like it helps reshape and form them to where they need to be or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
yep.
My wife handles all the technical stuff.
I can't.
She just kind of breaks it down for me.
Yep.
But it works out.
I'm the same way. Just tell me where to go and when to be there, and wife likes to watch all those shows, doctor shows, operations and stuff and things. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Yep.
I no. But, all right. Well, let's. I'll bounce around here a little bit. The funny thing is that when I do these, I really like the UFC right now. I'm new to it, and I'm enjoying watching it and everything. And my son got me into it. So, then I started DraftKings. Now, I'm not a gambler. I've never been a good gambler, but I don't like to spend money like that. But I just put $25 in. Okay. So I was up last week. I was up to 37, and today I am up. I'm in the 50s. I'm doing small bets, 1s and 5s.
Oh, there you go.
But just on the fights. I don't bet on. You can bet it on anything, right? But it's been fun. I've never done it before. My cousin talked me into it, so DraftKings. It's pretty fun. But anyway, so let's start off with, move my 4% there. I can't see. Let's, on this day. This one, there wasn't a lot of good stuff in this, but let's see here. On this day, 1965, cosmonaut Alexei Leonov is the first person to walk in space. Yeah. Big deal. Kidding, it's cool. Actually, I like stuff like that. That's why I stopped on that one. There's a bunch of other ones, but I didn't like them. Famous birthdays. Let me see if I know anybody on this. Grover Cleveland. That was one of our presidents. I don't recognize any of the rest of these people. Celebrity birthdays. Queen Latifah, 53 years old. That is weird.
Good movie she made was that gangster movie, Set It Off, where they robbed the bank.
Yeah.
Pretty good one.
I think she's a good actor.
Oh, definitely.
And what's weird is, too, in my mind when we were younger, I was thinking she seemed to me to be a rap person.
Right.
But she can sing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, she is super talented. But and Vanessa Williams, 60 years old now. She's from our childhood. She was popular. She dated Rick Fox on the Lakers. I remember that. She was like a model singer.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then I like how they put in famous divorces, famous weddings. Okay, no. Famous deaths in history. Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry died in 2017. Classic. All right.
2017, really?
Yeah, that's not that long ago, huh?
No.
He was older than dirt. All right, that's all I got for on this day. But I love the UFC, so I guess I got sidetracked, huh? I was talking about the UFC, but I got, I always do a little UFC bit here, and sometimes I'll call my son or, and get somebody's take on it that actually knows what's going on. But I didn't dive into this one that much, and I didn't realize that it's in London. And so it started at like 9:30 this morning. It just got over, and usually it doesn't even start till now.
Right.
And so that's when I asked you if we could just postpone a few more minutes because I was trying to see how many bets I won.
Yeah, no worries.
But good fights. It was Leon Edwards, who's the welterweight champ, and he took it from Usman. Usman, this is the third time they fought, and they didn't think Leon would win. Leon dropped him with a kick the last time. He was going to lose the fight, and so he won. But this time they thought, but I just watched the fight, and he's still champ. And I won $15.
Nice.
Justin Gaethje fought. I love watching him fight because he's a wrestler that doesn't wrestle. So all he likes to do is old school stand up until
straight boxing.
But he's like he was a state champion, wrestler. I don't, these guys, he's just hardcore. He just loves to battle. But most of these guys they're all ridiculously
they all
talented.
train so hard.
But, yeah. And it's just like, I got to go into the Blake's roommate's Jiu-Jitsu place there that he owns, and I felt so small.
Oh, I bet.
So small and old and weak. And there was like 12-year-olds that were just, kicking the crap out of adults. And I'm just like,
yep, maybe time to get in shape.
I've got a pulled hammy, bad back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Then I send my son in. Blake.
Go.
Get over there. So, but anyways, it's all over. So, it's kind of weird reporting on it after the math, but, it was fun. It was good UFC. And again, remember, I get those for nothing because I have a subscription to RidgeTop TV. My buddy Brad's got a little internet thing, and it's a smoking deal. You can watch all these pay-per-views. I pay $22 a month, and I get to watch any of these sporting pay-per-views where I was paying $80 plus a subscription per month.
With like Spectrum or somebody like that?
ESPN Plus, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to buy or rent ESPN. Have a membership ESPN Plus, and then you still have to pay $80 for the fight. And now I just pay $21.99 and call it good. So
heck yeah. Well, that sounds like a deal.
I think so. It's 1,600 channels, weird, stuff all over the world. But how about some weird news? And that was let's stay in with sports. It's March Madness also. So I don't watch college basketball. I couldn't tell you, much. But I think the first round's over, second round's going today. Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of sports, but if I do, it's going to be college because I feel like they try a lot harder.
Yeah,
because they haven't made it.
Right. And that's generally the case. Yeah, the college brackets, looks like today was Alabama, some of the big names playing, Maryland, San Diego State against Furman. I can't see the tiny writing. Creighton. I mean, it's early on, so, but it's going to narrow quick. And I don't do this stuff, but I love listening to people talk about it.
Right.
And Blake will always fill out these brackets. It's another way to gamble, you know, and fill out the brackets and then put money down and see if you can get anything right. So it's fun. But so yeah, we got that going on, and come on now, strange news. Did you see this one? That dude, this was all over. An Ohio man loses arm in zebra attack.
What?
Yes, I saw this on the news. Like,
that can't be real.
Yes, it was on the major. There's video because
was it like in a zoo?
No, this guy happens to. Part of it is like, well, you have a zebra. You know, you get what's coming to you. You know when people get pissed when monkeys freak out, or apes, people that have them that live at home and then they rip their faces off.
Yeah, but usually you have to get like, I guess, permits or something. Because there was a lady here in town that used to have a monkey.
I got a story about that. Yes. Well, this guy, he has this zebra, and he's apparently out in the field doing some, you know, farm stuff. Like he's working on something, and the zebra came up and attacked him and grabbed his arm and like ripped it off. I mean, they were able to reattach it. I don't know if it completely came off. And the video shows them, they're laying on the ground, and there's like the ambulance and everybody there, and the zebra's coming back from more.
Oh, what?
And they're like trying to get him out of there, you know. So,
zebra.
But it cracked me up. I mean, I'm sorry for that guy, of course, but I'll read this here. An Ohio farmer was hospitalized after one of his zebras, so he must have more than one, attacked him and nearly took off his arms, officials said. Deputies with the Pickaway County Sheriff's Office found 72-year-old man on the ground when they responded to a call. So he was able to call with his good hand and laid there, and then they came out, and yeah. Oh, there's the zebra right there. Oh, they were running him off. The guy was laying right here on the ground with his arm off, but bad zebra. But, so, you know, I don't feel sorry for these people because to me,
it's an exotic pet.
If you have exotic pets outside cats and dogs and horses, you know, the stuff that we've domesticated,
right?
You get what's coming to you.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. You're not supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to be messing with them. People, you get these monkeys and primates, you know, you think they're going to make a good pet?
Well, I just saw this thing in Dubai about, you know, all these people with the elites with money and riding around with cheetahs and I mean just crazy
you can
stuff.
Do anything you want in Dubai, I think, but you know, but that
I'm
we
just
did have
a supercar out of there.
Yeah, they all have them
because they ditch them everywhere.
Yeah, they're just filthy rich over there.
Well, got a flat tire, I'll just leave it in the desert.
Yeah,
we'll go get a new Ferrari.
You need to move to Dubai for a while. Start shipping them back over here. But let's see, where was I going with that?
Have you heard about that?
The monkeys.
The
monkey. The lady. There was a lady here. Okay, so my story on that is, when I used to work down at the courthouse, one time I went down in the basement. There were offices and stuff down there, and that's where I used to like to go to use the bathroom.
Okay.
And I went down to the basement of the courthouse, and I ran into this lady walking. She walked right in front of me, and she had an ape. Let me get this right. She had an ape on her shoulder, you know, holding it like and it caught me off guard, and she kind of stopped before she was going into an office to make sure she could go in. So she stopped right in front of me, and I guess she didn't see me. And it was right here. This ape was just looking at me, and I was like, oh. I said, you don't see that every day, a monkey, you know.
Right.
She said, it's not a monkey. It's an ape. Real pissed off, you know. And I was like,
okay,
excuse me, you know. So I went about my business. I went back to my office and I started bitching to all my coworkers about it.
Right.
And they're laughing, right?
Oh, I bet.
And it was an office joke, you know, it's not a monkey, you know, because I was really offended by it. I was pissed off. I want to go back to the office. Let's fast forward several years later, and I'm sitting at this house and I'm watching the news, and it says Pendleton woman attacked by her ape. And it was on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was just like the ones you see everywhere else. He decided he had enough.
Oh, my God.
And they had to kill it. She called the county sheriff. They went up there.
Well, I actually saw her. She came into my workplace. This was probably maybe a month ago. month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, weren't you the lady that used to come into the auto parts store? And because she was buying stuff for like a tractor or an old truck to get going on the farm up there, back behind the rental place. And yeah, she's like, yeah, I was the lady with the monkey.
She said monkey?
Ape.
I was going to say.
No.
I'll
ape.
tell you what, if she said monkey, we're going to go find her right now.
Right.
I'm going to say, listen.
No, she said ape, but yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't know it's gone now, but
and I get it. I understand that when we humans, we love animals, right?
Right.
And we love to eat them. We love to keep them as pets. We love to do, So I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, you shouldn't have monkeys or apes.
No, you're playing with fire.
That's crazy. And then when they get hurt, you're surprised? No. It just
They're
doesn't
like
make
how
sense.
many times stronger than a human?
Yeah, and again, remember they're animals.
And they're wild.
They're wild. So anyways, I'm sorry that happened to her and her monkey, but again, I did get some satisfaction because she was mean to me once. No, I'm joking. Maybe she had a bad day. I don't know. People
do have those.
They do. I've had several lately. I hate to say it, and but there's always tomorrow.
My dad always said, "You make the day of what it is."
Yeah.
You can either go positive or negative.
I know.
Stew on it or throw it away.
You know what though? I always tell everybody. Well, I used to not say this, but now that I'm older and I don't really care what people think of me as much.
Right.
I'm like, that's easy to say when you're not certifiably crazy. Okay, I'm certifiably crazy. I'm bipolar. I'm all over the place. I take a handful of meds. I can't just wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm gonna be happy. I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna kill everyone.
Right.
And then 2 days later, I'll be like, hi. It's terrible. I hate mental health problems, but anyways, that's just me. So, well, I hope that you can't hear that leaf blower going on outside. I love my neighbor Mike, but he's pretty handy with the leaf blower. I'm kidding. So I was going to bring up another side project I've been doing. So I had my buddy Joe, who I went and watched play music. I had him come over because, I like music and playing music and stuff, or used to play music. And so I thought, I'm going to start inviting musician friends I know to come over, and we'll just jam a couple songs, because nobody wants to sit there and watch you for, too long. And so I had Joe come up, and I did, my pilot episode of Sessions with the Snowman. And just sat here, and I tried to play along, but Joe played some of his songs, and it was really fun. He had a great time. He loved it. And so that's a new thing that I'm doing, Sessions with the Snowman. I don't know how often I'll do that, but I'm going to try to get more and more musicians to come up and just pick right here. And but also go on my YouTube channel and check out, I did film that gig last night for that band 541 Vintage, just off the phone. So it's not the best of everything, and threw it up there on my channel. So it's kind of fun to watch that. They were great. So that's going on. We talked about basketball. I told you about my dentist. We looked at strange news. The weather's finally getting better.
Oh my God, 63 today?
I told my wife the other day, I'm like, I'm sick of this. I can't wait. I get to where I need to see Vitto's garage door open. I want to hear thumping.
Right.
You milling around. We're all milling around. That means it's summer again.
Right.
We've been.
I'm like, should I mow my lawn?
I didn't even know if you were still alive.
I still got.
You disappeared for a while.
Right. Wintertime, it's like,
yeah.
I'm a homebody inside. Yeah. Don't go outside. No. But as soon as that sun comes out and it's warm.
Oh, it felt so good today, and I wasn't even out in it. I should have. I should have went out kayak.
Coming out of hibernation.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I like to kayak, and the reservoir opened up the other day, so I was so excited, and
I saw him in the back of your truck.
Yeah, I put him in the back of the truck, and I went out there, and wind was blowing. I mean, there were little white caps, and I thought, and I've been out there once like that, and I knew it was ridiculous. So I got in the water, but I just stayed right by the edge, and I went against the wind for, let's say, 30 minutes. 30
workout.
Yeah, as hard as I could, and then I turned around and the wind in I even held my my paddle up, and the wind was catching it, and I was just like, that part was cool. But I was so sore the next day. But I've only been out once. I'm gonna hit that a lot more now that the weather's getting better.
Yeah, my coworker does a lot of kayaking up there. He comes to work with it on top of his car, and
that's the beauty.
Right after work, he just shoots right up there.
Yeah, I mean, I can be out there in minutes.
Right.
And be on the water, and sometimes especially if I'm speaking of mental health, if I'm really struggling, it's like a safe room for me.
Right.
So I'll
nice and quiet out
I'll
there.
boogie and I'll paddle out in the middle.
Nobody to mess with you.
And then I just breathe, you know, and I love it. I do love it out there. I'm looking forward to going out there quite a bit. I'll have to take you out there. I got 2 kayaks.
Oh, okay. We were thinking about getting one of those stand-up paddle boards. We were talking about that.
I did get one last year, the blow-up kind. The rigid ones are crazy expensive. And I was skeptical about the blow-up ones. Then my daughter, my older daughter, got one, and we took it up Danny Lake, and she used it. And I was like, "What the?" So I bought one. I mean, it was less. I want to say it was $100 and something on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get something funky, but it's great. And I took it up there
pretty well.
Yeah, and I just got it in the cargo box there, you know. So I get up there, but what I didn't realize is you got to pump them up, and I kept thinking,
be hard.
Yeah, and I was like, it's gonna blow, and so I'd get it out there, and you can't stand up on it when it's banana. Right. So finally, I just kept filling it up until it was taut, tink, and then I went out there and it was way easier.
I bet.
So it is fun. I do like it. I hope to use that this year too. But
I've always been kind of weary about the blow up stuff, And,
I know.
My wife was talking about maybe getting a blow up little hot tub.
Yes, those are popular.
Like everybody's, it's kind of the rave, and I've had a couple people tell me that they're pretty easy.
Yeah.
Instead of spending like a couple $1,000, on one that.
I've had one hot tub, and I say that with a smile because it was a Coleman, and it was a circular, and it was real small, smallest one I've ever seen. But it was, you only needed 110, so really? I didn't have to. And this is when Blake was a baby. We lived up on the North Hill there, and I saw it in remember the nickel? Anybody remember the paper, the newspaper? It's a black and white, and you open it and you read through, and that's how we used to buy stuff from each other.
I used to grab those all the time just to look at the cars for sale.
Of course.
And the auto traders.
Always.
Whatever happened to the auto traders? Is that still around?
It's all just website now, though. Right? I mean, and even still, I
used to love looking through those.
I want that one. I want that one.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's not bad. Where's it at? 500 miles from here. Well,
you got to start figuring in gas money.
Yeah.
Trailer use.
Yeah. Exactly. So, anyways, yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to going up there. I want to take Jack up there and I want to teach him how to ride on the paddleboard.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Now Otson, my little Yorkie, he'll go out in the kayak and everything with me.
No problem. Yeah,
he'll ride on those scooters and motorcycles. He's older now, so it's harder for him, but he don't care, man. He'll do that. That's what he likes to do, is be scared. But now Jack's scared of everything, so that's.
You'd think from his size he wouldn't be.
Vizslas are very timid. They're a beautiful dog, but they're like a mini. I call them like a smaller Doberman that doesn't have a mean bone in it, like a red Doberman. If you ever seen a red Dobie, and he reminds me of a red Dobie with no attitude, scared of everything, sweet as can be. But he's like, their breed's like the 3rd fastest on the planet.
Really?
I mean, in the first 2 years, you open the door at the park anywhere,
bullet.
Be like, oh my! And he still is bad about not coming. His recall is not the best.
No, I've heard you a couple times.
But he does good. I have the e-collar. I don't use the zapper. But I have the beep or the vibrate, and he responds well to those. But it's amazing. I could be this close to him, going, Jack, and he wouldn't even move from anything. But if I hit beep, he'll. What's that? So I think they're a miracle. I wish I'd had those for my kids.
Right.
Blake.
But, you're testing me.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, what's any big plans for you guys this summer?
Not really this summer. We were thinking maybe next summer taking the kids to Disneyland. Do that whole
You're
thing.
A good parent.
I really wanted to rent a van and drive down there and hit the whole 101 and Redwood Forest on the way down. I thought that'd be a cool little family trip.
But how much was it to rent a van?
Shit. I haven't looked into it yet.
Well, remember there for a while though, it was to rent a car. Remember when there was something going on between COVID and everything else. And to rent a car, it was some astronomical price for a while,
right?
Because the chips were backed up and there weren't as many cars in circulation for the rental people or something. I don't know, but
that's because we're switching over to electric.
Well, my wife and I just talked about that last night, though. She has a coworker, because I said, how much are those Teslas, a sedan? I know they come in different models, but I mean, are they outrageous? And I've heard they're wonderfully comfortable and nice to drive. But you still have to go out to the casino to charge them. Well, you can charge it at your house, I guess, but can you charge it at home?
I think you can charge it at home.
You might. Well, she said I know what it is. Her coworker lives in La Grande or Tri-Cities or something. When he drives to work here, then he charges at the casino out there. But you pay for that,
right?
You know, I don't know what the rate is, but I imagine they've made it similar. You know,
right.
Like ting 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 ting. So,
yeah, I don't know. A lot of them are really nice, though.
That's what I hear.
That's for sure.
Blake's.
I heard you can like just the seats stay super clean, like whatever material they use. Like if you got kids, you can just spray it down and wipe it out, and it, you know.
It looks like there's an iPad right there.
Oh yeah,
you know, and it's this.
I feel like the Rex would be up from having like an iPad in the car, because I'd just be like trying to figure out the iPad.
Well, you'd have it on auto drive, you know.
Right.
Blake's friend down in Arizona, he's got a couple of them, and
right.
And he's had them wrapped. One's like lime green or I'm colorblind again. One's
right.
pink and one's. But Blake said they're just cray fun. I mean, they're so comfortable.
Oh, I bet.
So. Maybe someday.
I don't know. Did you see the YouTube video of the guy that fell asleep while?
I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. And somebody was filming it, right?
Oh yeah, you got to check He is just like straight zonked out. Just.
That's hilarious.
But I heard they sent out a program to redo it, so like you have to touch the wheel every so often.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
if you don't, like it'll slow down and put the warning lights on.
Yeah.
And wake you up.
As it should. I'm not a big fan of the whole. I mean, autopilot, fine to a certain degree, but I mean, really, don't start it and then walk away. Don't be like doing stuff and.
Well, I've seen them like standing outside the car, like walking the car out of a parking spot. Like mine's blown.
It is.
And my
crazy.
dad, he's so old school. He was like, I'm just waiting to hear about it in the news. Yeah. Mowed down a bunch of people.
It went wow.
Because nobody was in the car.
And isn't that though, like now with the new, what's this chat bot thing that they're talking about? Like you can say, write me a 2-page story about a doctor who didn't do good time management. It'll go blink and do a story.
No way.
These chat things now they're chat bots. And so, you know, I'm like, well, wouldn't people using that for college and school? And
right.
I mean, I would.
That would sound a whole lot smarter.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what I'm ignorant to a lot of the technology.
Boxes.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I struggle just with trying to figure out how to get something on YouTube.
Right.
You know, I've spent 8 hours once right here on a simple video trying to figure out how to edit it. But then as you get good at it, you get better. You know, it's not as bad. But I enjoy doing all that stuff. But technology, I can't believe. I think back to myself, you know, I'm first gen gamer, right? I had the Atari and then I had the Nintendo, which is what I really call.
Mine was a Nintendo.
Yeah, the Nintendo really is kind of the first.
Spend 3 days trying to jump over the gap.
On Super Mario.
Mario.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Super Mario. I mean, I played that till I was green. Legend of Zelda. Oh my God.
I love that game. That was a good one.
I loved it. Yeah.
And what was that other one? 1943 or something with the planes.
Love that.
That was like one of my faves.
That one you would see in the.
If I could ever get an arcade, like stand-up arcade game of that.
That was great. I love that. You're just going back and forth.
Back and forth. And get the power-ups to where you'd spread your shot and missiles and the whole nine.
Blast game. You know, I know they're old now, but those games were so much fun. All of those games. Pinball. I loved pinball. I was never big at foosball because I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, me neither.
I did learn a little bit.
I had weak wrists.
Yeah. I've got tiny hands. I've got the legs of a 12-year-old girl. I mean, I wasn't made for it.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know where I was going with all that, but Cool stuff, cool times. Technology's crazy, and now we can just upload a video. I mean, I did a YouTube short of an old video I had of my buddy Joe, shredding, and I was just right up close, and he was shredding, and because he used to play heavy metal, and it was really cool, right? And I'm intoxicated and laughing and screaming. I put that on a YouTube short, and like within a day, it had 1,200 views. Which is nothing to those people that do this, but to a small people, you're like, how does this even work?
See, I did that one time. Like, I posted a picture of my car. It wasn't all that special, but I posted on one of these Honda pages, dude, and I got something like 1,500 likes.
So what happens? Is it an algorithm where you're lucky if it pops in there?
Right?
I mean, because I do these, I don't get any views on these. Really, just my friends and family, which is fine. That's what I want. But I'm like, when you see all of a sudden these odd numbers, you're going, what? How does it work? But I also don't understand cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, NTFs.
No,
I don't understand how stuff that's
like a lot of my friends are way smarter in that stuff than I am. I guess I was just raised old school, like stick and paper, like bust out the calculator.
Have you noticed though, the older we get, I'll speak for myself, the older I get, the less I want to learn about stuff I don't want to learn about.
Well, have you heard like this new core math?
Yes, I would fail.
Like, I'm terrified of it. Like, we're going to have to get tutors for my kids.
Yes, and I have heard that multiple times. People are saying, I'm trying to help them do the homework. This has been going on for a while. And they're like, I didn't do this. I don't. That's crazy.
Like 1 + 1 is 2. Like, what do you mean, how did I figure it out?
Division,
Like, you have to write that out? How do you?
Yeah.
My mind's just blown.
Yeah, I was never good at math either.
I just went for the hot girls and some of my best friends.
Well, I told my wife, "You're lucky I didn't go to high school with you, babe." 'Cause I would have been begging her to do all my homework. We worked together once in our life, and she was my lead, and we were dating, and she was my lead, and I was young and stupid. We hadn't had kids or whatever, and I would like not do some of my work.
Yeah.
Like charting and stuff. We worked at this healthcare place. And she would just go along behind me and do it. She didn't want her boyfriend to get in trouble because she was the lead, but she couldn't get mad at me.
Right.
I was living in heaven.
Right.
And then later she became like the staffing director. And so all I had to do when I wanted to call in sick, and back in the old days, you had to call in sick and you had to like have an excuse.
Just roll over and be like, I'm not going in today.
I did it. I'll never forget it. It felt so good. I'm not going to go in today. And she's like, okay, I'll put you down. Just nice. Perks. Nice. Hope there's no statute of limitations. She's going to get in trouble. She's about to retire, so I don't want to screw up her retirement. But
watch the show.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I can wrap this up. I know you got to get over there to your family, and I got some steaks I got to cook up. Tenderloins.
That sounds good. We had steaks last night. New York.
I had tater tots.
My wife made these red potatoes. She cut them in half and did she baked them in the oven with like cheese on them, and then like salt, pepper, and some like garlic powder or something.
Have you heard of twice baked potatoes?
Yeah.
Where you take the potato stuff out. She made it. I'm like, where's this been?
Right.
I can eat this all the time.
My wife doesn't make stuff like that too often, but she gets pretty creative. She made these cheese chips. Where she put them in like a oven tin with like olive oil sprayed on it, bake the cheese, and then let that get crisp.
Yes,
and then she'll put like a couple pepperonis in there or something. Like
I love food.
Ultimate movie snack food.
Well, and on Instagram, you can tell what algorithms I do because it's like all these cooking things, and then there'll be a UFC fight. Vizsla cooking. It's the same stuff.
Mine's mainly just cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it. I miss seeing you out there dinking around on your car. I'm hoping this summer you're going to be out there doing it again.
Hopefully by the end of this month, I'll be ripping up and down on a little dirt bike. I was thinking about going up to Tri-Cities and looking at some pocket bikes.
Yeah,
some little pit bikes.
Yeah, on. That'll be fun. Yeah, I love anything with a motor. That these all scooters.
Well, I've also been looking at go-karts too.
They make so many cool toys now too.
Right. Well, and
go-karts.
It's stuff I didn't have as a kid, so I'm like, I'm 41. Let's get it.
Yes. I really love that motto
and
because that's all I've ever done.
Angle is through to the wife, you know. It's like I'm reliving it through the kids.
Yep.
My kids got to have it. I didn't. So
we do that. We can't help it.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Well, remember when I used to say spit and wisdom? I've been trying to do that again, and I won't make you spit any wisdom. I can't spit any wisdom because I'm an idiot, but I love George Carlin. I wish he was still around. Dude cracked me up as a comedian.
Right.
And, so I was looking through his quotes, and I was just trying to find a kind of a cool quote. And this is the one I chose. Just 'cause you got the monkey off your back doesn't mean the circus has left town. Brilliant.
That's so true.
It's brilliant.
That is so true.
I love George. He was so smart and witty. Yeah. I could go on all night. So, well, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. I try to do these like once a week, and I've been telling Wendy, I'll watch for you. Oh, there he is. Vitto, you come do a bot. And so I finally caught you out there, and yeah, you were gracious enough to come over. So make sure you tell everybody I said hello over there. And
I will.
Bentley, tell him to keep it cool, 541. You know, we do our little...
Oh, yeah, I do. He's neighborhood lookout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it when he's out there and he's got his cop uni on.
Yep, his little undercover badge.
Yeah.
He was wearing that a lot yesterday.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, we did it. We got another one on here. I want to thank tonight's guests, listeners, and sponsors. Bill Murphy Roofing, Wandering Wizard Concepts, Vertical Jigs and Lures, Liberty Detection Services, DCL Photography, The Shop, Diesel FuelFilterKits.com, History Hunters and Firearm Antiquities, Metal by MOURA, Pendleton Outfitters, RidgeTop TV, and the JON P. Salter Foundation. That's a wrap, folks. Be sure to catch the next episode. Until then, keep your nose clean if it takes both sleeves, and say nice things about us because we're gone. Thanks, Vitto.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So,